Hello there, it's your favorite trans woman here. And it's such a, I gotta talk about here, being homeless or somebody is homeless on the streets. And the categories in this, I can explain that too. But what happens to individual when he comes homeless? Number one, he will probably would try to get off the streets in early stages, but since it failed regardless, and he keep trying, keep failing. Finally gives up. By that point, what happened to that finally by somebody go end up on the streets for years and years and years, totally give up because they can't get in, stay in the hospital here and there, you know, and vice versa. They're very vicious circle of homelessness in city Hamilton. There are ones that they call the feral homeless. The feral category are ones that they go completely wild. They can't get any social assistance. They're totally failed. They can't get any social assistance. They're totally failed. Basically known as wild. Like, if a house cat is outside, it's no longer domesticated. Well, it gets failed. House cat get failed and turn wild. This will happen to humans. Same type of thing. They get failed. And once they get failed, they pretty much they get like early say feral is when they just giving up and don't want to do it. They try, they're going to do it, and then the final stage of feral means that it's totally destroyed and they totally give up and that's it. They don't even do anything to help they just sit there and panhandle all day long and do nothing to help their own self. And that's called. And then they get to a point where they get very violent, very aggressive because that anybody comes near them, even the person not feral when they're very aggressive because they've been problem is once a homeless person feral on the street, pretty much come a feral, know what happens? They pretty get very dangerous at that point. And being feral means they get permanently feral. That means it's for a permanent thing. It's something that I've seen happen here in Hamilton called the feral homeless, the ones that they can't get off the streets, they stay there. And they never get off. Matter of fact, you may grab a meal here and there, but once they fill, they don't come off. I mean, they can, I would never want to have that happen to me because if that happened to me, I would be last. I would probably it did happen to me back in London, Ontario, going back many, many, many years ago. I was on the street for several months, going from place to place to place to place. Finally, I ended up, just getting frustrated because I had no place in London to go. I was homeless. I was wandering on the streets. I was cross-dressing. I was wearing all kinds of lady stuff. Matter of fact then I was feral. On top of that, I got trying to get feral to point. I started being feral after that. I didn't want to go that far. As a matter of fact, by that point, I was so desperate to get off the street. I did. And you know what? I couldn't get off in London Ontario, but I came to Hamilton. And then I sort of was going missing, boom, bad. Finally, I ended up getting off the street, nowhere, through missing service in Hamilton. That's why Willows out. They do a great job out there. And it even got me wondering, too, about. But I seen others out there so long on the streets that they are totally feral. I mean, they got feral females, feral males on the streets, and they're never going to come off. They're going to stay there. In the wintertime, you're going to hear statistics say another homeless man found on the street, and they don't even know who it is. That called being feral. Now, there's somebody I know right now called early. Me, I noticed that too after being there, and I didn't want to go. That one got off street because if a social worker catch a homeless person before they get in the early stage of being feral, they pretty much die. They can get them off the street pretty much. That's pretty easy there, get them off the street and get in the house. They might, work on keeping them house for a very long time. But when somebody is completely failed, They will throw social workers aside to hell with it. I'm not going to go there. Yeah. Oh, I'm not going there. That's called heroism. It means you go wild. Then there's about the real advanced stages of being failed in homelessness, is failed homeless, is this. You end up, you end up sort of, like this. You beat up a business guy, steal briefcase, you're looking for anywhere possible to a point where the night will be cold and long, you'll be lying in a sleeping bag on a corner to a point, and then you start feeling numbness, and then you wonder, when am I gonna have? When am I gonna get when the God to come and pick me up? Then finally, one night you turn around, look down, you see yourself. You're standing in a sleeping bag, you look down and see yourself. And you float above your body, you see a warm, peaceful light, and you go up into it. Or if you did something bad, you will see a dark shadow. You'll see a really bad shadow, and it will come and it will take you far, far away to land of no return. But if you sort of in God, you'll be taken far away. But some cases, you don't realize it. In that case, you end up walking among that, seeing your friends, trying to get money. But problem is, your friends ignore you. Wonder why? Because you're dead. You look at, then you see your funeral. You see your casket. You know what I'm talking about? You see a unmarked grave being dug in cemetery. See you being lowered in. That doesn't strike home yet. So you're still wondering, why am I passing through war? Why do I feel this way? Because you're a ghost. And that's the same fact that happens. Now, being Halloween is saying ghost. Ghost is a person that is disembodied from the body. It's the human ghost is a person who's disembodied. Human. Who is disembodied from the body. And what you continue in life, you continue on that. Being a failed homeless that died, when he failed to die like that, you continue being failed. You don't want to go light. You don't want to go anywhere. And you just wander this earth for eternity. Could you imagine that? I can't imagine wandering this planet eternity. Can't imagine me dying and coming ghost and wander this planet for eternity. Yeah, but being a ghost, by being stuck here, not able to go to heaven, not able to hell, stuck between. I can't imagine. Or trust me, the people have been struck between. Somebody who get hung on a gallows for a crime, they get stuck between. Somebody goes put on death row, lethal injection, they get stuck between. Get it? Somebody who is, shot dead, they can get stuck between the heaven and earth. Between. Get it? The space between, get stuck in there. So you're not really thinking about it. Some people, if you realize it now, but honestly, it's like one thing I can tell you. That being the haunting. But reaching failed people, homeless people are pretty much a point where it pretty much does happen, most failed people. When they're that badly failed, they don't come off the street. They stay on the streets. Believe it or not. That's true. For failed homeless. They don't come off. They stay on it. Matter of fact, they die on the street. Believe it or not, it's an 8 times worse than a drug addiction or a video game addiction. Believe it or not, that's very, very true. Because I've been noticing that too. I've noticed that over the years. It doesn't take an expert to figure that out. And I did go off a bit about Halloween and ghosts here, but that can really, especially if a person homeless, he failed, ends up dead, it comes to ghost, it can really mix him up pretty good because he doesn't have a body. He thinks he has a body, he's trying to eat, but can't eat anything. He will eventually realize he's dead. By the time he realizes it, he already had fun with everybody he did, had fun of bugging people for money, bug everybody you know. Oh, it's not bad. I'm gonna go bug everybody that put me on down. I'm gonna bug them. How? I'm gonna bug. And I'm gonna make and he makes people make living life miserable because he failed, and he's gonna keep doing that. Oh, I'm not weeds anymore. I ain't gonna go, and I'm gonna make everybody's life miserable at Salvation Army. I'm gonna make that guy throw trays all over the floor. Blah blah blah. And this is bad. That's a poltergeist. The person that failed becomes a poltergeist in afterlife, and they stay that way. And they never, ever, do that. I mean, as somebody people are one the homeless are smart enough and enough, they may fill out an application form for in-draw and say at a homeless shelter, and guess what? And go running to a person, running in-draw, say, I need an apartment, I want to get off the street, Oh, and in-draw turn around, oh yes, we have a place, the Perkins Center. Yeah, and to get nicely in, see? And off the street. That's called, the smart ones to do something like that. The ones that got really failed will not do it. So I'm going to tell you, if you watch out, the people who are out there who do get failed, and they will panhandle like anybody else. Trick is, if you see people panhandle, don't give them money. Do not give them anything. I'll tell you what they homeless people do. Fail, they will collect, and they take that money, and they'll buy a next bottle of booze for that money. Or they'll collect money, and they will take that money and buy a dime bag of crack cocaine. Or buy something that is really going to mess them up worse. Or they use it to get even with somebody if you rent an apartment, type things like that. Well, that's why never give homeless people anything. And don't even do that, just walk right past them and say nothing. Or say, there are lots of jobs we have, if you want to get one. Eventually it might sink in their head enough to think, hey, no, son, this is not working. I'm going to get a job. And the person running down Oxford to Fasco, running to an employment company, and say, I need work, come and hire me. And they get hired. That's another thing, see? You get hired, then you get paid, then you get a apartment, then off the street for good, see? Or a failed homeless do not get off the street. They stay there. Once they failed once they get on the street and they've been for a long period of time, not get off, get failed. Once they fail, they don't come off. They die out there, unfortunately. It called fail means wow. Get failed like a cat get failed. Humans do the same thing. If a human being is a group of humans were taken and were forced out of the city, forced onto an island, were forced in a situation where they had to hunt every day for food, and have to literally do that day in, day out, constantly, they eventually would be feral. They would try to rely on their own intuition how to kill this bear for food. And they rely on that. And they're going to feed that, and of course the bear will feed them, but still, the human being would be pretty feral. They get a bit wild. We get wild after a while. That's happened to many humans. If we were to take a bunch of feral treat people, stick them in the middle of Algonquin Park, none of them would survive. They wouldn't know how to hunt. They wouldn't know how to look after themselves. They wouldn't know how to hunt. They wouldn't know I might panhandle, but they wouldn't get anywhere. See? So then there you go. And honestly, being my part Indian half of me, even if I was stuck somewhere in the jungle, even down in South America somewhere, Amazon, all places, I would look around. I'd probably figure out the trees, and I would look around first, and I figured out if there are animals I can eat. And if I have to do it, I probably would. But the coconuts or bananas in there, the milk and coconut, that will sustain you for a while. And if there's some water nearby, it's raining, you can use that to collect the water in the rainforest. When it's hard to pour down rain, you collect the water rainwater, and they drink the rainwater. That will keep you enough. That will keep you alive till rescue come to get you. Now, me being part native, I can probably would know, like I would probably hunt a monkey, kill it, eat it, and I have to out of desperation, or even if I have to kill an animal in the jungle to eat it, but that's out of desperation, to get the people fed. That's something I would probably do out of desperation, because otherwise it's like that too. And also too, if you just can get to, even if you got an emergency satellite receiver, even a cell phone would have power, but it may not be powerful enough to get a signal out to rescuers that are really looking for you. Unless you get right on top of you and pick up your GPS locator on a phone, that'd be really on top of you in a plane to pick that up, which they could and be garbled weak, but they might track it from there. But honestly, even that come that situation, myself, yes, I could probably survive. Number two, I may just get together and I may use all kinds of green branches and get a fire, make a signal fire in the jungle, and take that smoke and rise up through the jungle out of the canopy. Somebody can see that smoke overhead. And then if I get it right, get a blanket, and I will make it really smoky, and I puff out the smoke. I bet you 9 times out of 10 that somebody can see that smoke signal somewhere, someplace. Or they're going to either get it enough that you're going to see it. If ISS sees it in orbit, which I doubt they would, they're pretty high up there. They might if they were there. Chances are they may end up, radioing down to SpaceX. SpaceX will turn around and radio rescue crew there searching and eventually find you. But the whole idea behind it is that, But actually, even the jungle can sustain you. If you can get fish from a local river, you can boil them out, heat them. If you get water out of the Amazon River, for example, I would boil that water. I would put it in there. I would boil it and keep on boiling it till about at least 20, 30 minutes before I even drink it, because kill bacteria. If I drink that water straight, you get very sick indeed, because the bacteria in the water will kill you. It ain't the way to look at it, but you could survive in a jungle for a long period of time. If you ever get stuck. Me being stuck in a jungle, I will turn on my Indian half meat. Indian half would able to find ways to survive and what you're gonna find. And if you get in sand to find, if you get a hold of, but also too, there's one big thing about Amazon. There is a cannibal tribe within the Amazon called the Nagato, called Nagato Nation. And if you don't really if they find you first, they can boil you up and cook you for dinner. That's cannibalism. That's not Nagato Nation. That is what I'm referring to, called the Nagato. It is a nation of people. It is very dangerous indeed, but if you have that native spiritual background, which I do, the chances are they may not, bother me, because I have that native background. I know they're native. I respect them who they are, and I try to get a hold of their hereditary chief council right off the bat and find out who the hereditary chief of their nation, and then see or not if have and get arrangement and get people in the class with them. But I've got a nation. My problem is I'm not trying to disturb their way of life, but me, by being there, just the presence of being there can help, but also, it can also be and play an Achilles heel. I could destroy the culture, way of life. That's something I do not want to do. At that point, I take what I learned this from watching Star Trek enough TV. The non-interferent Pine directed. I put Pine directed them back there and say, okay, well, I don't want to interfere with them, but if you need help, I wouldn't bring other people there. I will sit there and talk about, find out what is edible in that jungle, what not, and then use their technology, use what they know to keep them, the group of people, but they can get, fed. And eventually, when rescue does come, get rescued, but we'll not give a location where they're located because they can be killed. Rescue can be killed by Nagato too. So that's one thing. Maybe I'll try my best in a situation. But in the jungle, the way to sustain yourself, even up in northern Ontario in the bush, you can cross the plain and be in middle deep bush, deep forest. If you know how to sustain yourself in a forest, you could survive for quite a long time. Your food supply, you know how to get water and boil it long enough under fire, you could survive, go rest you get there. If you know how to get fish or kill game, you can survive on animals. You can just survive off of, many things. And if you find weeping willow tree, that is, like your headache, take a barkweed willow. That aspirin, ASA right there. That keeps you from getting sick. And honestly, on all things, you can survive a crash and be very there for rescue to get you. And be good help too, matter of fact, just by hunting. Because you're hunting to survive, but you're hunting for your health, hunting for your safety. It's like, if you don't hunt, you die. It's plain and simple. That's a real problem. Most people die after playing grass because they don't know how to hunt. Like if I have to go in there hunt, I know how to do it. I could, if I had to get a spear, I could probably kill a monkey or baboon and eat and boil it up and eat it. I could probably kill a parakeet and eat that if I have to. Kill birds, any wildlife. Kill a fish and eat it too, have to. But anyways, that could keep us going for a long time. It might be years, might be months. But honestly, getting there, one thing. But I have to say, it's getting on to 22 minutes. Oh, yeah, 22. I'm going to end this blog here because I went on pretty long about it, and I really did not plan to go as long on it, but I did. So I'm going to say nighty-night here and enjoy your life, because your life is precious. Life is very precious. And when you put it in jeopardy, you have to figure out how you get out of the situation. You end up homeless, you definitely try to figure out how to not be homeless. And you know what? Prevent being homeless, because if it happens, it could happen to anybody, any place, anywhere. You could get a nice brand new house and have an F5 tornado bear down at night. Doing wind F5 tornado makes you homeless. Boom. You can move in a sparkling new apartment. Bang. Your house get destroyed. Now, can you let's imagine that too. Anyway, I'm going to be nice about it. I'm going to tell you, thank you for listening. And I'm just going to let you know, may God be with you. And may you walk your holy way. And you know what? The devil is in the garbage can, the dumpster. God is up here, the devil in the garbage can. Amen. End of transmission.